Hello and welcome to the TORC athlete briefing for the Sprint Triathlon. This is Alina Crow, your race director. We're going to go over everything pertinent to the Sprint Triathlon so you'll be ready for race day. Let's begin. First, we're going to start with packet pickup. Packet pickup will be located at the race venue, Riversport, on Friday, September 5th from 4:30 to 8 p.m. We're actually going to have an expo, so we'll have lots of vendors out and some of our sponsors and partners available. So we'll have some things for you to do at Riversport. There will not be race day packet pickup. So if you are out of town or aren't going to be able to make it on Friday, please email me at the email that's available at the end of the slideshow to let us know so that we can set your packet aside. What's in the bag? What will you get at packet pickup? So for the Sprint Triathlon, you will receive your swim cap, your bike stickers, your run bib, safety pins if you need them, and your t-shirt if you registered before August 15th. New this year, you will also be able to pick up your timing chips from our partner, Oklahoma Race Company. They'll have a table next to ours at the expo. Parking, where do you park? Always important. Riversport is a great venue that has plenty of parking available. So this map does show you the 4 main parking areas available at the venue, and they are numbered in numerical order from our priority 1 down to priority 4. We recommend that we encourage you to arrive early so that you can park closer to the venue, which is indicated with that green box. So let's get ready to race. What are we doing the day before after you pick up your packet? We want to attach those numbers and stickers. We'll talk about in a second where they go. And then most people will kind of lay out their gear and walk through race day and transition to make sure they have everything. A lot of athletes have a checklist. You can actually Google a checklist and find some really good examples just to make sure that you have everything. You want to pack your bag and your gear that night so that you're not scrambling in the morning. Specifically your bike as well. Make sure that everything's good to go mechanically. Check your air pressure, make sure you have tubes, those types of things. Also take care of your body. Make sure you're hydrating in the days leading up to the race, and then eat well. I generally encourage athletes not to eat anywhere new or any kind of spicy or food that you're not used to avoid any unnecessary GI distress. And then review the course and schedule so that you're relaxed and ready to go. And then as much as possible, try to get some good sleep. And then sticker placement. You will receive 2 types of stickers. One will go on the front of your helmet. It's just a single sticker with your athlete number. And then the other one is your bike sticker. It's a 2-sided sticker that will either go underneath your seat that folds together so that your athlete number is visible from both sides, or it can fold down kind of underneath your seat on the seat at the top tube is what it's called. If you're not sure how to do that, you can always wait until you get to the venue race morning and we can help you, or you can just Google it. But those are the 2 places that you'll want to put it. It's easier if you just do it the night before, so that's one less thing you have to do race morning. Which leads us into race morning. So what does that look like? Race day contingencies. Athlete safety is TRI-OKC's #1 priority, and so we've already begun monitoring the weather. We don't quite have the forecast for race day just yet, but the race will occur rain or shine, as long as we can safely put on the race. It looks like we'll have a cooler race day possible than we've had this week, so the weather looks like it's going to be great. We'll be monitoring that, and then we'll probably post on social media what we're looking at for the weather. And then you'll get an email a day or 2 before the race that kind of reiterates this information, and it'll have kind of the forecast, if you will, there. In the event that we're looking at storms, any crazy wind, anything like that, we do have the ability to modify the format. So if we can't swim, we can just cut the swim, or if we need to shorten the bike or something like that, we'll do our best to hold the race as long as we can do so safely. And then here's the race day schedule for you. This is also available on our website and also should be in your email when you registered. So transition will open for our TRI-OKC members at 6:15 a.m. TRI-OKC members do have the ability to get priority access to transition, a little perk for membership. And then for everyone else, it opens 15 minutes later at 6:30. Transition will close just under an hour later, so you've got plenty of time to get everything set up and make sure you're ready to roll. And then we'll have a brief athlete meeting inside the race venue at 7:15 a.m. And right after that, we'll get started at 7:30, just after the duathlon starts at 7:25. And then if we have any adaptive division athletes, they will start before our age group and friends and family waves. So how do you set up transition? What does that look like? So before you go into transition, you'll need to make sure that you're ready. So that includes having your timing chip on your ankle. We're not going to kick you out if you've got it on your right ankle, but the prevailing way to have it on is your left ankle. It's the opposite side of the crank on your bike. You want to make sure you have your helmet out and available. We're going to make sure that you have one and that your sticker is on. We're also going to check for that on your bike. And TRI-OKC practices open racking. What that means is that we are not going to assign you a spot to rack your bike. This is why it's a benefit for TRI-OKC members to get in there first. They can kind of choose the spot where they want to rack their bike. Some people are kind of fussy and have a preference on where they can rack. So they will have usually 5 or 6 bikes to a rack, and they will alternate between directions that your bike will go. We'll see some pictures in a second on what that kind of setup looks like if you're unfamiliar with it. And then a reminder, there are no spectators allowed in transition. It is athletes only. That's for everybody's safety. We will have volunteers around transition. So if you're new or nervous about how to rack your bike and kind of how to get things set up, we'll have some friendly volunteers in there that can help you. And also, usually there's at least one friendly athlete around that can help you as well. So here's some pictures about showing what a transition setup looks like. And that middle one actually shows you how a bike racked by a seat will look. You can also rack by your handlebars on a windier day. If we have that, we will recommend racking by your handlebars. And there's actually, in that picture, you can see the sticker, the number 103 is on the top tube. So that's what that looks like. In the seat post is where the bike is hung. That's the other place you can put your sticker. So this is just kind of the setup. I do recommend that you put your run bib facing down so that you can just pick it up and put it on your person when you're getting ready to run. You'll notice that we're not taking up a huge amount of space and that it's not disorganized. We do allow you to have backpacks in transition, but please, be mindful of the people and your neighbors and just kind of only take up a small minimal amount of space so that everyone fits in there safely. So let's move on to the swim course. So for TORC, this is a 500-meter swim. It is a single lap. We will line up based on your estimated swim pace. We will have some signs up, that's new this year, where you can kind of see where the paces are so you know where to line up. If you're a nervous swimmer or new or don't care how you finish, you're just here to have fun, my friends and family, people party in the back, just line up at the back. This is a time trial start. We will have a timing mat on the ramp that goes down into the river sport pool. So we'll start 3 or 4 athletes at a time. We'll kind of wave you in. So be cautious on the entry and exit. There's a ramp going in and a set of stairs coming out. They can be slick, so please use caution and don't run into the water. Here's a map of our swim course. There's the swim start kind of at the bottom center, and this shows you the direction of the swim. We'll have buoys and then some lifeguards and kayaks that divide the center of the river sport pool. You'll go to the end, turn around, turning left, and then head back towards the exit where you'll swim back under that bridge and then turn left to get out. We will have a volunteer at the stairs exit to help you if you need it. And we do not allow, as we move to safety swim gear, your swim caps are required. That will again be provided in your packet. That's for safety and for visibility. And then as far as wetsuits, in the 4 years of this race, This small body of water has never been cool enough to allow for wetsuits. Again, that's something that we'll monitor and will be communicated closer to race day. That generally will also be the same thing for buoyancy shorts. Those are not allowed. Your timing chip is required to have a time. And then snorkels, personal swim buoys, and then other items like fins, things like that are not allowed. If you do need help in the swim, to get the kayaker's attention, generally just raise a hand and they can come to you. You are allowed to rest against the wall or by holding onto a kayak. You just cannot make forward progress. But with the kayak, they can't paddle for you. And then USAT does not mandate any like style of swimming as long as you complete it under your own effort. That is completely fine. There is not a cutoff on the swim time. Take your time. Slow, easy breaths, and you'll be just fine. Let's move into transition 1. You'll enter transition from the east side after you exit the pool. When you're making your way around transition, we'll see a map here in a second. Please make sure you stay on the sidewalk. We'll have a volunteer there and some tape on the ground. But there is a curb. It's kind of a rolling curb, but just to make sure we don't have any rolled ankles, you'll stay on the sidewalk around from the exit of the swim till you enter transition. And then you will bike out on the west side. So you'll leave your swim cap, goggles, anything else you've got there in your area. And then it's important to make sure that you put your helmet on and clip it before you touch your bike. And then do not mount your bike until you pass the mount line. It's on the outside of transition. There'll be a red tape line on the ground. It's usually about 200 to 300 feet past the exit to transition, and that's there for everyone's safety. We'll have a volunteer there so that you know where it is. And then so here's a little map showing you the swim exit. The icons on the map also show you we will have restrooms just outside of transition. The red cross shows you where the medic station will be, and the little cup that's spilling shows you we'll have an aid station just outside of transition. So if you need to fill any water bottles or things like that, it's also conveniently located for the run. So let's see there. So then you see there's the sidewalk where you will kind of follow it around. It's not the most direct path, but it is the one of safest way for your ankles. Here is a photo of a little guy who is correctly exiting transition, and he also is demonstrating how a sticker looks on the seat post of a bike. Sometimes they're hard to get on without them being perfectly even or not crinkled, but that's okay. We can still see his number, and that's the goal of those stickers. So on the bike course, this is a course that's just over 14 miles, between 14 and 15, depending on how straight you ride. It is 3 laps. It is an open course, and so be mindful of that and follow traffic laws. It is your responsibility to know the route. We did post on social media and then also send out via email previously 2 options to view the route via a GoPro and then also a little, I'm not sure how you would describe it, but there's a couple different options to view it. We've also been riding it as a group. We will have lots of Oklahoma City police officers at major intersections. So they'll do their best to direct traffic, but again, it's also your responsibility to be aware and keep an eye on what you're doing. USAT rules do apply, so there's no drafting. Once you get within about 6 bike lengths of a bike ahead of you, you then have 25 seconds to pass. Doesn't seem like a lot, but I promise it is. USAT has all their rules posted on their website, and we also have a link to them on our page. So if you're a slower athlete or you're a friends and family wave, please make sure you stay to the right, especially with a course like this that has laps. It's just the safest thing to do. And then if you are a faster athlete that's passing people, please make sure you stay on your left so that they hear you coming. We do have SAG on the course provided by our partner Wheeler Dealer. And please make note that due to the short distance on this bike course, there are no aid stations. There is a bike lane at a part of the course when you turn onto Walker, coming out of the lower Scissortail Park portion. You can use that. It's up to you. You don't have to. Just be aware, again, that this is not a closed course and there may be vehicle traffic present. So here's a map of the course. This is a Garmin route. It is publicly available. There's a link to this posted on our website. And again, it's been emailed out a couple times. If you didn't have it or you don't need it, just send us an email and I'll give you a link to it. So bike gear, what do you need for that? When doing this, it's important your bike is in a safe working order. Specifically, you want to make sure you have brakes, you've got good tires, and you can steer. It is important also that you have capped handlebars. 99% of the bikes will have that, but that's something that we will check for when your bike and you are entering transition. We do have spare bar plugs, is what they're called, if your bike for some reason doesn't have them. But if you can check for that in advance, it would make race day a little more smooth. Helmets are required, so please make sure you have one. And then also there are no headphones or audio devices allowed on course. That's for everyone's safety. Obviously, hopefully it's a sunny day, so please have that. And then if you need hydration on your bike, please make sure you have that and that it is secured. And then you should have your timing chip on you at all times. So you've finished your bike and you're moving into transition 2, or T2 as it's called. So you're going to come back in from the west side, the same place you exited. And in reverse of mounting your bike, you're going to make sure you dismount your bike before that same mount line. And then you are going to make sure that before you take off your helmet, that you have fully racked your bike. We'll have, again, volunteers around in transition, keeping an eye out on that for you. And then once you get your bike racked and your helmet off, that's when you'll switch into run mode and make sure you get that bib on and that it's visible at all times. And then you'll exit back the way you came in on the swim on the east side. And then again, there are restrooms via porta potties and an aid station available before you head out on the run. So here's that same map, but it's been modified a little bit to show you what you're looking at. When you leave T2 heading out on the run, you head right out of transition and then turn right again to head out onto the river trail. And then the run course. This is also a 5K. It is a 1 lap, simply an out and back. But again, as athletes, it is your responsibility to know the route. There are 2 aid stations this year on the run, and then all USAT rules will still apply. Same story if you're walking, which is totally acceptable. I usually walk. You stay on the right so that people that are running can get past. And please make sure your bib is visible at all times. Here's the Garmin view of the run course. The green arrow is the start. There's those little purple icons show a couple different things. There's the restroom shown, the little house that has a star in 2 places. Those are where the aid stations will be. And the flag at the end there is the turnaround. Run gear. Run shoes, your running bib, again, no headphones or audio devices. You can have a phone with you on the run if you would like to do that, but it should be for emergency purposes. We don't want to see anyone taking selfies or having phone conversations on the bike or the run. Again, if you want to have your own hydration on course, you are welcome to. That's certainly allowed. But like I said, we do have 2 aid stations that will have water and Gatorade on the run for you. Most people will wear a hat and/or sunglasses, and then again, that pesky timing chip you want to have. So lastly, you are almost done here, your finish line and post race. Here is a little bit of a zoomed out map showing you what the run course finish looks like so that there's no confusion. You will come back into transition at the bottom left of this and kind of run past it. So there's that aid station right there at transition if you need it. And then you'll come onto the road and then go past River Sport and turn right onto that road right there. That little guy icon is a volunteer, so we'll have somebody there, and you'll just continue on and then go back behind River Sport. Actually, there's another volunteer right there, making sure you find your way, and you'll run up behind River Sport. It's kind of cool, up behind the pump houses and then down back into River Sport property, where you will finish inside the property so your friends and family can see you finish. And then also enjoy your moment at the finish line. We will have water, Gatorade, and some snacks for you. Everyone gets a finisher's medal. And then for the sprint, because of the size of the athlete group, we will have overall winners. We have some really cool awards for the overall male and female, and then we have certificates for the top 3 USAT age group finishers, both male and female. And then after the race, we do send out a survey in the days after the race, and TRI-OKC does take all of that feedback very seriously. We read all of those comments as a board, and we constantly want to be improving, so please take a little bit to fill that out. It's a pretty short survey, and we do award a race entry to a drawing for a race entry out of the people that take the survey. So please give that some of your time. If you have questions about something we covered here or something I didn't cover here, we are here for you. Here's our email. It's triathlonclubofokc@gmail.com, or this is my personal email. It's just alina.croy@gmail.com. During race week, we're pretty busy, so please give us a little extra time to respond, but I promise we will do our best to get back to you in a timely manner. And lastly, I want to say thanks to some of our partners. This race wouldn't be possible without our facility, River Sport, who has been great to work with, and we're so excited to put this race on for the 4th year. Best of luck and have an amazing race day.